My name is Karen, and I am a fashion design educator at the High School of Fashion Industries. Today, I am here with industry leaders Sonja and Kip, who are the designers for the brand Rubin and Chapelle. I would like to ask you a few questions about your exciting career. Are you guys ready to begin?
Absolutely. Nice to meet you. Hello, Karen.
We're ready.
Hello. Okay, so I would love to know about your fashion journey and how you and your brand has evolved.
Well, we started in '97. We went to FIT. That's where we got to know each other, and we both studied fashion design. And since then, we have been had our company, and it has been a journey.
When did you guys decide to start launching your brand?
While we were already at FIT.
I think it was sort of a gradual process. We actually started in school making things, and then shortly after we started making things and selling them to stores in Soho and different cities. And then around 1997, we decided to make it a little more formal, and we opened an office in Chelsea, and that's where the brand started officially.
That's amazing. So how do you guys stand out in such a competitive field?
It's a good question. We're trying to stand out as much as possible. But I mean, we do what we do, and we're just happy when people respond, when people like it, we're very happy about it.
But of course, it's locally produced, sustainable. I always say we are old-fashioned designers. It always has been our intent to create a product that is unique. We love what we are doing, and we of course love it if other people get it.
That's amazing. Do you guys have any advice for a student who wants to pursue fashion design at the university level and is just starting out in this industry?
I think that any student that is passionate will be very successful. I think this is a field that is fantastic. You can be super creative. There are so many facets to it. And I just would advise anyone that feels curiosity and passion to pursue it. They're going to be successful.
Yeah, I think you really have to love it to get into. It's a very specific business, and if you have that passion, you have the curiosity, it will propel you forward.
Yes, definitely. It's definitely not as glamorous as I think the outside world views it, as being all fashion shows and parties, and it's a lot harder than that. What, I guess, draws you into your brand each day? Like, what inspires you as you're creating each day?
Well, I'm sure we are no different than anyone else, because I'm sure you are also drawn to so many, the sources can be so diverse, right?
Yes.
It can be either you walk on the street, or it can be an art reference. It can be anything that excites you. So, and we all know that, and then you translate that to your visual language, which I think is quite. I always feel like we live in this is quite a luxurious field in that sense, that we can be so hands-on, and just so tactile.
Mm-hmm.
So given the current state of the economy, what advice would you give a student interested in this career?
Patience, perseverance, passion, and knowing really what you want to do in this, and understanding where your specific viewpoint lies. And I think if you can identify that, it's going to help a lot, because the challenge in this business is creating excitement. It's creating a product that's desirable, and that's the entire goal. And you have to have that passion. And I think when students start out, they definitely have that, and it becomes more refined the more experience that you get. But it really starts with passion.
That's amazing. Sonja, do you want to add anything to that?
I mean, I think in regards to Corona right now, we all are in the same boat. No one knows what impact it's going to have, right? So, but I would suggest for students not to be to be discouraged, to go on with their plans. We are going to, as we are talking right now, we're going to adapt, and that's great. I mean, we all have to be nimble and flexible, and they are going to be flexible, and with whatever situation is going to go upon us. I would not deter anyone to not pursue their goals because of this.
Yeah, that's great. So what do you guys like best about your job, and why?
I think I love my job because it feels like every day is different, and I think it's great to work with other people. I think we are creating a product. It's a constant exchange of different minds, of different creativities, and yeah, that's what I like about it. And I like to work with my hands, and I like old-fashioned studio work, which not everyone loves, but I do. So I think if I can go to the studio, I'm happy.
I think it's, I think we feel successful when we design something that we feel achieves a certain level of modernity, and we feel success when we see clients wear things that make them happier. We see people respond to the products that we make that make them happy, or that make them feel empowered, that feel strong, to feel chic, to feel stylish, to feel
appropriate,
and to be their authentic selves. And when people find this brand and they like it, we really like to sort of stick with those clients. And yeah, we love to see people wear the product.
Yes, that is always amazing to see it like up there. And so what are some things that are your least favorite aspects about your job, and why?
I would say anything that has to do okay. Accounting. Making sure that the books are even.
Well, I think we're in sort of, because we're a smaller company, we have to wear a lot of hats, and there are a lot of aspects or a lot of things that need to be handled sometimes immediately. And I think sometimes the way we've evolved, we're getting better at this, but sort of achieving a work-life balance can sometimes has proven to be a challenge. Not that we like that challenge, but it can really take over. And I think over the years we've become a little bit better at it, but that can be a challenge.
Yes, that I am feeling that here working in my apartment. It is hard to step away from the computer.
Yes, absolutely. Yes.
So what is, or why is community engagement important to your company?
I mean, I think without community, you cannot create anything. You need the feedback. You need to work with other people. I also often, we teach. So all of these different aspects are very important for a creative impulse, of course.
But also on a personal level, I think it's important that because we're based in New York and we have a business in California, that we're sort of involved with the people there, with in the environment, with the people here in New York. working with the CFDA here, or just working with the Malibu city to sort of just engage with clients and an environment. It's important.
We also do, for example, in Malibu, we work with kids, also with the Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts, and they come in and they get, so we talk to them. So there are always different impulses that we try to set. And I think since what I also want to say, like what is so important, since we can produce here in New York City, and it's great that there is a garment factory or garment industry here in the city, is to, of course, it's fantastic that you can work so closely with the factories and the sample rooms that are executing, because it is so important to have that language to speak to people. And we used to produce everything in Italy, and then we switched over to New York. So it's local production seems just so much easier and so much more beneficial for the product.
What made you guys decide to switch to local production?
Because we felt like we wanted to be closer at all times, and we certainly did not want to go to. We did not want to go to Asia.
Mm-hmm. That's really cool. So talking about social media and technology, how does your brand use that to your advantage?
I think that definitely over the years, more and more, we work with our clients it's a very personal setting often. But we found that to work like we are working right now is another way of conducting those meetings without seeing them in person, which is great. So so I think that's how, and of course during the times from now, this is going to increase more and more, and it's going to become more and more common.
Yeah.
I mean, the way we're communicating now is very effective. We wanted to do this years ago when we were producing in Italy. We wanted to sort of figure out a way to have a video conference, but it just wasn't really done so much then, because we would have to be in, get on a flight every month to sort of to overlook the samples, overlook production. And this would have been so much easier in a lot of instances.
Yeah. So what are some tools or tips that you guys use to build or develop your client base?
It's a good question.
I mean, I think it changed over the years, but ultimately, for a first, for someone to purchase, they need to see it in person. So of course, if clients see it over Instagram or social media or via an email outreach, ultimately what leads to the purchase for a first-time client is the personal first contact, or to see the product, to try on the product.
Yes, but I mean, that's something that we're navigating now, because in the past, we've gained most of our clients, and I wouldn't say recognition, but most of our clients through the retail stores. That they were able to see the product, come in, get a sense of what it was, and hopefully fall in love with the product. And now more and more, people are being introduced to the product online, and figuring out the best way to engage online is, we're figuring that out like everyone else and getting it together.
Yeah, that is a whole new territory. It's very different not to be able to go in and actually, touch the clothes and try them on, and, have that hanger appeal that usually you have in the stores. It's very different.
I mean, in general, we work very three-dimensional. So in order our clothes, you really have to try on and to feel. So that's usually the best way anyway.
Yeah. So since you guys kind of met when you were in college and kind of formulated this, um, this partnership, I would love to know what it means to kind of collaborate more and not be so individualistic in your like design approach, since I think that's what we at school try and do with our students is have them work more in groups. And a lot of times like their reaction is, oh, I don't want to, like, why can't I just do this myself? And we're always kind of trying to show them that no, in the industry, you're always collaborating. And so the fact that you guys met in school and thought, hey, this is working, let's continue on and do something great. I'd love to know more about that.
I mean, ultimately, I think it's always about a good product and it's not who did it. So if that's your ultimate goal, but maybe to translate it to the students, to maybe remind them that to work with everyone's best, what everyone brings to everyone can bring something to the table and just work with the best, whatever someone has to offer. So, but how you also have to be tough with each other, because you have to, in order to get a good product, you have to criticize, or you have to also be aware that you can be criticized. Right?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's been a bit of an evolution though, because I think we work slightly differently. I mean, she works more from a design, from a technical side. She works more on the form, and I work more through sketch. And we sort of, it's hard to know exactly where the lines blur and cross over sometimes, because we've been doing it for a while, and we both put things on the table, and what shakes out over the week while we're developing a collection. Sometimes we don't know exactly where it came from, like which person.
Or whoever is working in the studio. I mean, ultimately we want to make a good, it's about getting the fittings right and making a good product. That's what the goal is.
That's awesome. And so one of my last questions for you is, I would love to know more about your approach with sustainable practices. Like, I was kind of looking at your about section on your website and seeing that this is a passion for you guys and your brand. And so I'd love to know more about, like, how did you get to where you are, and what are the different processes that you do, and kind of what are your goals for the future with your sustainability journey?
We always have been, we always have been very intent on understanding where things are coming from, what we are doing with them, and a zero waste also, since we work with zero waste patterns from the beginning, since we work on drape on the form, and always has been three-dimensionality has been important. We always try to, or it was always our interest to utilize as much yardage as possible, for example. And in regards to where most of our silk is coming from, is from, it's called pea silk. That means that the silkworm is not dying in the process of making it. And the print is done in a factory that has their own water pollutant regime and system actually in Germany. And so all these aspects we feel are just very, very important, and we feel our clients also appreciate them. And we put so much time into development that, of course, it is in our interest to just work with the tools that are the best and are traceable, meaning we know where the fabric is, as I said before.
That's awesome. That's really cool. And so we're kind of wrapping up now, but I wanted to know, are there any things that you want to share about your brand or about, the fashion industry that you feel it's important for our students to know about?
We would, once COVID-19 is not going to be a problem, or and if it would be lovely to welcome you guys in our showroom and maybe have a tour for the students.
Oh, that'd be amazing.
We would love that.
Yes, us too. That'd be really awesome. Well, thank you so much. It has been lovely to get to speak with you guys today, and I am so excited to see where your brand continues to go, and I'm excited to keep on, see what's going on.
So nice to meet you. Looking forward to see you in person.
Yes.